In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I plan long road trips in my Tesla. I'm going to be using apps like a Better Route Planner, PlugShare, and Google Maps to make the initial plan, and then I'm going to show you how I use Tesla's in-car navigation to make last-minute changes on the road. If you're planning a long road trip in an electric vehicle, then this video is for you. For this video, I will be showing you how I planned a road trip that I took with my sister Margie. To optimize our time charging, we made sure anywhere we spent the night, we had a place to plug in so that we can charge up our car to 100% while we were sleeping. If this is at a hotel, it is called destination charging and typically is free. You can also choose to sleep in your car if you're on a tight budget. Booking a spot at an RV campground allows you to plug into a 50 amp service and charge your car while you're sleeping in the car. With Tesla's camp mode, you can keep the climate on as well. I will go into more details on all this coming up. The goal is to maximize the time so that you never feel like you're waiting for a charge. Leave home with 100%, combine supercharging with bathroom breaks and meals, and arrive with 10% or less and plug in at your destination are the general rules to the most efficient long road trips. If this is all new to you, then this may seem daunting and complicated, but trust me, it's not. The first step in planning a road trip is to know where you want to go. I like to use Google Maps for planning the destinations. I can check out the destinations, read reviews, see the street view of the area, and add them to a custom list. My sister and I wanted to visit the town of Carlin, Nevada, since that is our last name. And the second destination we had in mind was to visit my sister's friends in Hurricane, Utah. Along the way, I added some stops of interest that I found, which included the location of one of the very first Tesla superchargers at Harris Ranch in Coalinga, California. Making our way eastward along parts of the Lincoln Highway and the route of the very first transcontinental railroad. On day 3, we had planned on visiting the Mossy Cave to Fairyland Loop Trail at Bryce Canyon National Park, and then we would drive the Zion Mount Carmel Highway, which is a very scenic route to Zion National Park. On day 4, we would drive home to Los Angeles, passing through Las Vegas. When looking at the map, we decided that a good place to spend the first night was in Reno, Nevada, where we should be able to find an inexpensive room at a hotel that offers free destination charging. For the second night, my sister wanted to try Tesla camping in the car at an RV campground, so we picked Beaver KOA Journey Campground in Beaver, Utah. For the third night, we planned on spending time with her friends, so we booked a night at a hotel near Hurricane, Utah that had destination charging. Having a well-defined route at this point, I then used Atlas Obscura to find any points of interest along that route. Atlas Obscura has some, well, pretty obscure things that might be of interest to you. If you click on Places, it will take you to all of the places on one map. And if you zoom into the route, for example, that if you planned on driving the 80 across Nevada, here are some of the more interesting things that you might find. For example, the Lovelock Airmail Arrow. So I could click here, I could read about it. So basically, airplanes used to fly over and look down, and they would see the arrow pointing to where they needed to go. This is the Lovelock Mail Arrow that I added to my list on Google Maps, and that will be one of the stops we plan on visiting. Okay, so now that we have all our destinations mapped out, I can start planning the drive. Tesla does offer some tools for planning long road trips, but at this time the web page version is not very useful. Other than a simple overview of the trip, it doesn't offer any of the tools we need to plan a long road trip. This leads me to the 2 web pages that I actually recommend for long road trip planning. That would be PlugShare.com and abetterrouteplanner.com. Now the first step is to go to abetterrouteplanner.com and sign up for a free account. Now I have a paid account, so there may be some features that I have that are not available in the free account. The paid account, I believe, allows you to save your trips and to save the type of vehicles that you have. So once you have an account, I would then set up the what type of car do you actually drive. So here I could click on the car. That is the car that I'm currently driving, the Tesla Model Y 2023 long range. But if I wanted to set up a new car, I can pick the kind of car that I'm driving. Let's say it's a Tesla Cybertruck. But I can save that if that is the car that I'm currently driving, and it would use the data from that car to determine how far I can drive before I need to supercharge. So that's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and set this back to the Tesla Model Y. Now, some other things I like to do here in the settings is I like to change the departure SOC, which is state of charge, to 100%. That is essentially you plug in the night before you leave and you make sure you charge the battery to 100%. The other change I would recommend is the battery level. I want to arrive with 10%. I believe the default is 20%. Well, I like to live a little more dangerously and arrive at 10%. Arriving with less allows you to charge faster and makes everything go quicker. Okay, so those are all the changes I wanted to make to the settings. All right, let's put in a starting point of Burbank, California, and let's put a destination of Reno, Nevada, and let's see what happens. Let's hit plan. And so it gives us a route where we need 3 superchargers. You could see here the details. It is going to be 8 hours and 30 minutes of driving, 509 miles. 7 hours and 37 of that is driving with 37 minutes of supercharging at 3 different superchargers. Now, if we want to understand when we plan on arriving in Reno, we need to make some changes to the starting point. So let's go ahead and click here. And let's change the time that we are leaving to, I don't know, some point in the future. So let's just pick a random day in the future. But I do know that I want to leave, let's say 8 a.m. And then let's hit plan again. And now it will use that future date and time to then predict when you will arrive at the various superchargers and, more importantly, when you might arrive at the destination. So it has us coming into Reno, Nevada at 4:29 if we leave at 8 a.m. So the next step I would probably do at this point is to find a destination in Reno that allows Tesla destination charging. So that's where I would use PlugShare. So let's go to PlugShare and go to Reno, Nevada. Now here in the filters, I'm going to tell it that I want to only look at, since we're only looking for Tesla destination chargers, the only connector I want to look at is the Tesla connector, not the Tesla Fast connector. The Tesla Fast would be the superchargers. I'm not interested in the superchargers. I'm only interested in the destination chargers. So here we are. All of the destination chargers are now showing up on the map. I am looking for something that's going to be along the highway. And, you know, let's get somewhere near the exit of the city because I'm going to be exiting out the east. So here we have the Hampton Inn Suites Reno Sparks. We have the Residence Inn by Marriott. And we have the Western Village Inn and Casino. Now this one is brown, so I can click on it and it says that it's restricted for guests only. Most of the Tesla destination chargers are going to be for guests only. Now, I already did this trip and I can tell you that we already booked the room at the Western Village Inn and Casino. I can check it out here. I can see pictures of the chargers at that destination. So here's our Tesla destination charger. And here are the 2 ChargePoint chargers. So there's essentially 3 destination chargers at this place. I would go ahead and book that room. If you're looking for maybe an upgrade or you're looking to spend a little more money, you probably want to check out the Hampton Inn. This is much more modern hotel. They seem to have a lot more chargers as well. And the good thing about that is if those don't work out, you can just go over to the other destination chargers at the Residence Inn by Marriott. PlugShare is really useful for this kind of thing. You can read over here in the description. You can see people that have checked in, if the chargers are working or not working. So you could get a lot of information about how reliable they are, how accessible they are, how many kilowatts you should be expecting. And then going back to the place where we actually stayed, I can see here it says J1772 2 plugs, Tesla 1 plug at 16 kilowatts. Okay, so I feel real good about that destination. I would go ahead and book the room for that destination knowing that I would be able to charge up overnight to 100% and leave the next day. So let's go back to a better route planner and let's swap out Reno, Nevada for the Western Village Inn and Casino. So let me copy that and paste. Let's go ahead and delete that. And let's put that in the destination. Western Village Inn in Sparks, Nevada. Yep, that's the one. I guess it's Sparks, not Reno. And let's go ahead and plan the trip again. Now, nothing really should change because Reno to the hotel itself, there's not going to be much of a difference there. Now let's go ahead and add a few more waypoints because we wanted to stop at one of the first superchargers, which is in Coalinga, California at Harris Ranch. And that would be a good place to get lunch, take a bathroom break, and, you know, a little supercharge while we're there. So let me go ahead and add that to our waypoints. We're going to add the Coalinga supercharger. There it is, Harris Ranch Tesla 150. And then we're going to add the Gold Discovery Museum. So let's go back to our Google Maps. And we had the Gold Discovery Museum. So let's go ahead and just copy and paste that into a better route planner. Gold Discovery Museum. And apparently that doesn't show up. So I need to know the address of that. That is 310 Back Street. Let's try that. 310 Back Street. There we go. The Marshall Gold Discovery Museum. Okay, whatever. And then let's go ahead and put these in the right order. So I wanted to go to the Harris Ranch Supercharger. Then I wanted to go to the Western Village. No. Then I wanted to go to the Marshall Gold Discovery Museum. Then the Western Village Inn. Okay, so our day has these destinations. Let's go ahead and hit plan. And we can see that we will be pulling into Harris Ranch around 10:48. Maybe a little early for lunch. Maybe we'll skip breakfast that day. And we only need 7 minutes, which is not enough time to get lunch. Then it has us supercharging at Patterson for 19 minutes. Then the Gold Discovery, and then another 14-minute charge at Auburn. So let's go ahead and change a few things here. So first of all, we're leaving Burbank at 8 a.m. with 100%, so that's good. Let's change Harris Ranch. I know that I'm going to be spending probably 25, 30 minutes. Let's say 30 minutes. Let's go ahead and change 7 minutes to, let's make it 30 minutes. And let's go ahead and hit plan and see what happens to our plan. Okay, so now we are spending 30 minutes in Harris Ranch. We're going to be leaving Harris Ranch with 85%. And then it has us stopping in Patterson, California for 9 minutes before we get to the Gold Discovery Museum. We're going to be arriving at the Gold Discovery Museum around 3:15. So let's say we want to spend an hour at the museum. It's probably a little too much, but let's just say we're going to be departing at 4:15 p.m. Plan again. And so now I've added a 1 hour stop at the Marshall Gold Discovery Museum. So now we can see we leave Burbank at 8 a.m. We arrive at the supercharger at 11 a.m., have lunch. And then we're going to be stopping for 9 minutes at a supercharger before we arrive at the Gold Discovery Museum. We will be spending an hour at the Gold Discovery Museum, leaving at 4:15 p.m. And then we will be 14 minutes supercharged before we arrive in Reno at 6:40. So 6:40 p.m. arrival at the destination in Reno. That's pretty good. That gives us some time to check in, have some dinner, and plug into the destination charger. So that's really good. Let's go ahead and save this. We're going to save this as road trip day 1. Okay, so that's road trip day 1. Let's get on to day 2. So we're going to hit restart and clear. And then, of course, our starting point is going to be the Western Village Inn because that's where we spent the night. Okay, so the destination for day 2 is going to be the RV campground where we wanted to do some Tesla camping. And I want that to be close to Bryce Canyon so that we can get up and go to Bryce Canyon. We ended up picking the city of Beaver, which is right here. How did I find the RV campground, you may ask? So let's go ahead in PlugShare and put in Beaver. Or actually, let's put in Salt Lake City. What I'm looking for now is RV campgrounds. And what do RV campgrounds have? Well, they have the plugs. So let's go to our plugs here and let's turn off the Tesla destination. They have the NEMA 1450. So the NEMA 1450 is the 50 amp 220 plug that you find at RV campgrounds that advertise 50 amp service. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for any destination that has a NEMA 1450. We're looking for a destination that is along the Route 15. So here's an option, Jones High Country RV Camp, Wagon West RV. You could click on it. If they have pictures, you can see the pictures. This picture indicates that they are friendly towards EVs. You always want to call and make sure ahead of time that you're allowed to plug in an RV into an RV campground post, because some of the older posts in the older 1980s and 70s RV campgrounds, they're not really designed to handle this much power. You're going to be pulling 40 amps, well, 32 if you're using the Tesla adapter. You're going to be pulling 32 amps at 220 volts continuously for 8 hours. So that's a lot. And if the campground is not able to handle that, then they're probably not going to be happy about you doing that. So you need to always call ahead of time and make sure. So this indicates that in 2017, this person plugged their Chevy Volt into an RV post. I don't know if they asked or not, but they did it. You can't make any assumptions because someone did it before that they're still going to allow that to happen. That was a long time ago, and they probably had a change of mind since then. So always check ahead of time. Here is the Beaver KOA journey. Again, I can click on pictures and see, here are some pictures posted. These happen to be mine. But here is us plugged into the post in the 50 amp hookup. We also used the extension cord for an electric blanket. It was below freezing, so it was quite cold. And the electric blanket, definitely the way to go. So that's the tip for how to find RV campgrounds. So our destination now is going to be the Beaver KOA journey. So let's go back to a better route planner and let's put that in as our destination. We're looking for the one that is at 1428 North Highway 357 Beaver, Utah. That is the Beaver KOA journey. So that is the correct destination. So let's go ahead and hit plan. And this will give us a rough idea of how long it's going to take to get from the hotel to Beaver KOA. Now, you may notice something right away. It is not going the direction that we wanted to go. Apparently, the shortest way to get there is to go south, but we actually want to go through Carlin, Nevada, and some other destinations that are up north. So I want to go the other route. So I'm going to click on the other route, and you can see it is going to take 11 hours and 39 minutes to get from the hotel to the RV campground. Now, again, that is a very long day. In hindsight, I would have made that shorter. I probably would have been closer to Provo or Salt Lake City. Let's go ahead and add our waypoints. The waypoints that we wanted to add are, let's go to our Google Maps, and we have the Lovelock mail arrow. So let's go ahead and add Lovelock to our destinations, the city of Lovelock, Nevada. So let's go ahead and add another waypoint, Carlin, Nevada. There it is. The California Trail Interpretive Center. There it is. The first transcontinental telephone line. Now, I doubt that's going to show up, so let's just copy the address from here. There it is. We have the city of Salt Lake City. So those are our destinations for day 2. Let's go ahead and move the final destination to the end of our list. So we are leaving the hotel, we're arriving at the campground, and we're stopping at all these stops in the middle. So let's hit plan and see what happens. Okay, right away I see that I need to change our departure time. So let's go ahead and pick any day in the future. And let's change that to, let's say we get up early, and because it's a long day, let's say we're leaving at 7 a.m. Let's go ahead and replan and see how the times of day change. So we're going to be arriving in Lovelock at 8:12. Let's go ahead and make this a 10-minute stop. So let's make that 8:22 departure. We're going to be supercharging for 16 minutes at Winnemucca. We will be arriving with 33%. That's a little higher than I want to, but the superchargers out here are really far apart. So you kind of take what you can get when you're traveling this road. We will arrive in Carlin, Nevada at 11:03. So that's not bad. If we leave at 7 a.m., we get to Carlin at 11:03. We had planned on interviewing the person who runs the museum in Carlin. And so I know we're going to be spending some quality time there. So let's find a place to plug in Carlin, Nevada. Since if we're going to have the car parked for, 1 or 2 hours, why not have it plugged in while we're parked? So let's go to PlugShare and let's put in the city of Carlin, Nevada. Okay, here we are, Carlin, Nevada. So now let's go ahead and choose the Tesla supercharger, the destination charger, and the J1772. So the J1772 is the connector you would find in any kind of level 2 public charging station. So, the public library or the city hall. Those are all the J1772s. Those are compatible with pretty much all cars today. It looks like the Carlin supercharger is coming soon, so that's not an option. And then here we have Corey's Fresh Market. We can see they have the CHAdeMO 1 plug at 50 kilowatts. They have a CCS plug at 50 kilowatts. And they have a 4 J1772s. Now, since I'm in a Tesla, I can't use the CHAdeMO or the CCS. There is an adapter that you could purchase, but the adapter, I believe, is around $450. And that just doesn't seem to be worth it to me, especially knowing that everybody's going to the NACS connector in the next few years. So I don't really ever see the need to spend that kind of money on an adapter to only get 50 kilowatts, which is just like nothing compared to the supercharger. If you have the adapter, great. That would be a good option. You might want to go with that. But I don't have the adapter, so I'm just going to be using the J1772. That's going to give me 7.2 kilowatts. It's not a lot, but it is something. You will add probably, 25 to 30 miles in an hour. So if I can add 60 miles, why not? Right? Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and choose Corey's Fresh Market, copy and paste into our destinations. We're going to add a waypoint. Carlin. So let's see, 730 10th Street. Let's verify that is the right one. 730 10th Street. That is the right one. And let's go ahead and put this right before Carlin. We don't need Carlin since that is redundant. So let's go ahead and remove Carlin. And then we're going to put ourselves here at 7.2 kilowatts for 2 hours. So by modifying this entry, I'm telling a better route planner that I want to stop in Carlin for 2 hours and plug into the J1772, which will give me 7.2 kilowatts. And the reason I know that is that it says right here, 7.2 kilowatts for the J1772. Okay, let's go ahead and plan again. So we're leaving at 7 a.m. We will arrive in Carlin at 11:03. We will leave Carlin at 1:03 after having charged from 25% to 43%. So it's only 7.2 kilowatts, but it's also 2 hours. And there's no charge curve when you're that low. So that's a good solid 20% roughly increase in battery status. So that's pretty good. We will be stopping at the California Interpretive Center. Let's just put us out at 2. So 45 minutes roughly. We're leaving the California Interpretive Center at 2 p.m. We will be stopping at Elko for 8 minutes, West Wendover for 24 minutes. There's a telephone pole, and it says this is where the two wires were joined for the first transcontinental telephone line. You only need to take a picture. That'll put us into Salt Lake City at 7 p.m. We will then need to spend 2 more supercharge stops, one for 8 minutes, one for 16 minutes, and then we will arrive at the KOA campground in Beaver, Utah at 10:19 p.m. That's not bad. That's a good day 2. It didn't turn out that way. No, it did not. So stay tuned for that because I'm going to be showing the actual trip after I do all this. So no, it did not end up that way. All right, let's go ahead and save plan for day 2. And now we're on to day 3. Restart, clear. Our departure is the KOA campground in Beaver, and our destination is somewhere in Hurricane. So once again, let's go to PlugShare and see if we can find a destination near Hurricane, Utah, that offers destination charging. So we're going to change the plugs again. We're only going to select the Tesla, not the Tesla Fast, but only the Tesla. And that will give us the destination chargers in and around Hurricane, Nevada. There is the La Quinta Inn and Suites. This has, well, let's just look here. It says 4 Tesla destinations at 16 and a 2 J1772s. So they have 6 plugs at this destination that I can use. And then right across the street, there's another hotel, and they have, how many plugs do they have? They have 3 plugs. Only 3 plugs. People like to block parking spots that are really close to the entrance of wherever they are. So if the hotel puts them right by the front entrance, you want to avoid that because people are going to block those spots. You're going to find those spots iced. And so if you can, if there's another one across the street that has 6 destination chargers, you might want to think about going to the one across the street. So this is actually where we ended up going, the La Quinta Inn and Suites. And so what they did was they put 4 destination chargers in the back. And then it looks like they had originally had installed these 2 spots in the front. These are 2 J1772 spots. They put them in the front like everyone else did accidentally wrong. And they probably learned from that as well. And that's why the other ones are in the back. So there's 4 in the back. There's 2 in the front. And thankfully for us, if we're driving a Tesla, the Tesla destination chargers are in the back. Also, if you're not driving a Tesla, they do have an adapter that will go from the NACS connector to the J1772. Any car can plug into a destination charger. You just need the adapter. There's no authentication or any kind of like payment system. So that works perfectly fine if you have the adapter to go either way. So we have a destination. It's the La Quinta Inn and Suites. It is on 101 East 500 North in La Verkin, which I guess is just north of Hurricane. That's fine. It's very close. And let's go ahead and put that in as our destination. There it is, 101 East 500 North La Verkin. Now let's add our waypoints. But there it is. That's the parking lot for the trail. Here's the trail. So that is one of our waypoints. And the other waypoint is going to be, there it is, the Zion Mount Carmel Highway Tunnel. Not the tunnel. Here, Orderville. I just happen to know Orderville is the city at the beginning of the road that goes west. So I'm going to choose that one. And let's put them in the right order. We want to have our destination last. Let's go ahead and hit plan. And there we go. We have a plan. We don't need to charge at all. Assuming we leave Beaver with 100%, we should arrive at the La Quinta Inn in La Verkin, Utah with 40%. If you wanted to know what time, let's do that trick where we pick a day in the future. Let's start around 9. Let's go ahead and hit plan. That's going to put us in at the La Verkin at 12:14. So this is a short day. Again, going back to what I said earlier about how day 2 was very long, I would have chosen something north of Beaver to make day 2 shorter and day 3 longer. But too late. It's already been done. Let's go ahead and save that. And let's go ahead and clear again. And we're going to be leaving from the La Quinta Inn in La Verkin. And we're going to be returning to Burbank, California. Looks like we need to stop in Baker for 28 minutes. One more thing I wanted to point out, when you're choosing a destination, so let's say you have all these choices on the way back from Vegas. Well, if you have some time, it is worth the time to look into those destinations. So for example, I know that Eddie World in Yermo is a fantastic destination. And let's check out the 11,000 photos. Yes, if a destination has 11,000 photos, you probably can make some judgment call on that. It is fun. It's a great place. They have candy and food and ice cream, and it's a good stop on the way to Vegas. It seems to be perfectly placed in the city of Yermo, which is right about the time when you need to supercharge. Now, I know they just built another supercharger. So this was, in the original Eddie World, they have the V2 supercharger. So you have 18 plugs at 150. And you can see these urban chargers that Tesla would bring in. So what was happening is more and more people were buying Teslas. There weren't enough chargers on the route to Vegas. And Tesla kept adding and adding and adding and adding. And they're still adding. They're still adding more and more. But it's very easy for Tesla to bring in these urban chargers, especially on a busy 3-day weekend They might even roll in a truck full of urban chargers to handle the capacity. So kudos to Tesla for doing that. And that's usually until they get the bigger supercharger built. Eddy World is a great destination, but it is V2, 150 kilowatts. They did build a new one here at the Shell Sunrise Canyon Road. Now, you may think, well, because it's 250, I want to go there. It's the newer one. It's got the V3. It's going to be faster. Yes, all of that is true. But look at the area. There's really nothing here. There's a gas station. There is apparently a market because they wrote market on the roof. That a little sketchy. And then there is a taco stand. So you might want to think twice about that. Yes, it's $250, but you're stopping anyway. You're going to spend 20 to 30 minutes to get food. Why not do it at Eddy World where you get a fresh baked pizza and you have other options? Now, let's check out this taco stand and see what that is. Let's see what that is. We have 166 photos of this destination. And we have curly fries for $17.23. Breakfast burrito is $14, and a quesadilla, which is melted cheese in a tortilla, is $14.84. Apparently half the meats are gone because those are all covered in tape as well. Yeah, let's check out the street view and see what's going on here. In fact, we can see the crew that actually installed the brand new supercharger. There they are. Thank you, whoever you are. Maybe those tacos are really good. 3 stars, 3.2. Most jacked up place to stop and charge your Tesla. Asked the girl at the counter for the code for the restroom, and she said it's on your receipt. You have to order food. So you need to order food to use the restroom. Oh, and looking at the pictures, apparently the $14 breakfast burrito used to be $7.99. I'm assuming that was before the superchargers arrived, because that was in March of 2022. So yes, always a good idea to check where you're supercharging on Google or Yelp or wherever you do your thing. All right, so we've planned our trip. We have all 4 days planned. Let's see how it actually happened. Be sure to check out part 2, where I show you how the trip actually went. I will give you tips and advice for dealing with range anxiety while traversing desolate remote areas in an electric vehicle. And thanks for watching up to this point. I truly appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos and appreciate you giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. I'll see you soon.